This is everything you need to know for applying ProtectaClear to your Cybertruck. Today we're going to discuss ideal environment, preparation, application, troubleshooting, removal, and support. First, a bit about ProtectaClear. It is not a ceramic coating. It's thicker than a ceramic coating and the application is completely different. If you have experience with ceramic coatings, just understand that ProtectaClear is different. Please be sure to watch this training and read all instructions before moving forward. ProtectaClear is a blend of polymer resins and a solvent base. It's self-leveling and self-annealing. The results will last for 1 to 2 years before reapplication is needed. However, when you need to reapply, there's no need to strip the coating. You simply wash the truck, dry it off, and reapply the ProtectaClear. ProtectaClear is not compatible with water, so it needs to be completely dry before you apply the coating, and you must neutralize any acids that are used to clean the surface. Now looking at the ideal environment for applying ProtectaClear, you want your environmental temperature to be between 40 and 100 degrees. Your dew point, your temperature should be 10 degrees above your dew point. Your dew point is where condensation is created on a surface, and you need your temperature to be at least 10 degrees above the dew point. You want your humidity to be below 80%. So that means for those of you in the South, it's very important that you time out your application with low humidity days. You want your environment to be free of contaminants. You don't want it to be windy to blow dust and pollen into the coating as it's drying. Surface temperature is most important. You need the surface temperature to be at least 5 degrees above the dew point and not dropping. So this means you don't want to do it in the evening if it's going to get cold below the dew point. You want the surface temperature to be less than 100 degrees. Now, if you don't have a surface temperature gauge, if you can't hold your hand to the surface for 10 seconds without pulling it off, do not apply the ProtectaClear. Because if your Cybertruck is too hot, the coating will not adhere properly. So this is very important guidelines for you before you apply your ProtectaClear. So how to achieve your ideal environment? The best is to work indoors in a well-ventilated area. So if you have your garage where you can park your Cybertruck and keep the large door open, the coating as you're applying it does have a strong smell that does dissipate after it's dry. However, you want to work in a well-ventilated area. If you're outside, it's best to work under a cover to avoid pollen and dust landing on the coating again while it's drying. Bugs are somewhat attracted to the coating, but we'll get through how to deal with bugs a little bit later. Moving along to preparation, you can prepare the truck in any way that you find that gets you the results that you're looking for. But we have found that Barkeeper's Friend spray works best, then neutralized with Windex to give it a streak-free finish, and then a wipe down with either isopropyl alcohol or denatured alcohol works really well for a streak-free, perfect finish of your Cybertruck. It's imperative that you get the finish looking exactly how you want it before you coat, because anything you coat over will be there forever. Preparation tips: you want to make sure you're taping off all the rubber around your windows and plastic trim. It's easier to tape these items off than to get the solvent off of them later. You want to clean and prepare the entire truck before coating. You don't want to do this panel by panel because you might have uneven results with your cleaning. So you want to clean and prepare the entire truck and get it looking great before you're ready to coat. Today we're going to show you how to protect your Cybertruck with ProtectaClear. We'll show you the kit we've put together specifically for the Cybertruck and how to prepare the surface and apply ProtectaClear. A few notes about ProtectaClear: it won't change the finish of your Cybertruck, except for a slight darkening of the finish that's barely noticeable. It looks as if the finish is wet. So we all know the Cybertrucks have unique grain and finish, different than any other vehicle surface. Each one's individual, and those finish details will show through the ProtectaClear. ProtectaClear is only going to protect what's there. It's not going to change the finish. That being said, if you want your Cybertruck to patina and you like it at a certain color or a certain patina, you can also use ProtectaClear at that point to seal the patina in. ProtectaClear is also going to protect against fingerprints. It doesn't stop them entirely, but they show much less and they're easily wiped away. So when you're closing your door and you have to touch the door with your fingers, you can just wipe it with your sleeve or wipe it with a cloth and the fingerprints are gone. So before we start, we really want to thank Emmanuel for letting us use his Cybertruck for our testing. We really appreciate that. And if you guys have any questions, click on the links below for more information on our website. Okay, so we're going to start the preparation of our Cybertruck. We're going to start off with Barkeeper's Friend, and you want to spray directly onto a rag and a microfiber that's included in the kit, not right onto the car itself. And so you're going to wipe this in and take care to wipe off any bugs, any fingerprints if you can get them off with this, any corrosion spots. This will do a great job at removing light corrosion and cleaning the surface. So it will leave a residue with streaking. That's normal and to be expected. And the Barkeeper's Friend is also an acid. So you see on the towel, it comes off a bit on the towel. And then you're going to use Windex to neutralize the Barkeeper Friend acid. The ammonia in the Windex will neutralize the acid in the Barkeeper's Friend. Again, you're going to spray directly onto the rag, and it's going to clean off any spots here that have been left by the Barkeeper's Friend and leave a streak-free finish. So as you can see, we've sped up this video a little bit of the wiping part, and you can see that drying pretty quickly as we are applying, and it leaves a beautiful finish. So again, you're just going to rub until you see no more streaks, no more fingerprints. The metal should be completely clean at this point before you put on your denatured alcohol. And this is the denatured alcohol you want to use. You can use acetone as well, but you want to make sure to use a clean solvent, not anything like for nails that leaves a film afterwards. You don't want to use like nail set acetone. You want to use pure industrial grade acetone or the denatured alcohol. But again, industrial grade, you can get it at any Home Depot or Lowe's. So again, you're just going to do a quick wipe here of the denatured alcohol or acetone right before you are ready to coat your surface. So this is the can of ProtectaClear. These are solvent rated paint pans. They work really well to hold the solvent-based coating of ProtectaClear. And you can also use metal baking tins, glass pans. You just want to make sure that it's something that is solvent rated, nothing plastic, because the coating will actually melt that plastic. So you're going to pour in a bit, and you're going to get your applicator ready, and you're going to dip your applicator into the coating, completely submerging your applicator and getting it soaking wet, or at least the part that's going to be touching submerged. You can see I'm ready letting the coating soak into the applicator. Wipe off any excess so it's soaked but not dripping. That is what you want in your applicator. And then you're just going to glide the coating on. So it is not a wax. You do not want to make circles with it. And while the Tesla Cybertrucks do not have an official grain, they're all very different. You just kind of want to do long horizontal swipes. And if you get any thickness, there was a drip on the bumper. And if you get any thickness, thick spots, I should say, or any drips, they can be wiped right out. And you'll see at the end of the video how we take it off of that bumper. But as you can see, it goes on very easily. You want to let that applicator glide along the surface. If you see that or feel that the applicator is pulling, that's when you want to dip your applicator again in the coating before you move on. You don't want dry spots in the applicator or too thin of a coating, as it will cause a rainbowing effect. If you do see rainbowing while after you have applied the coating, that's because the coating's too thin and you would benefit from another coat. So again, just gliding on, you want to make sure that you're getting all the surface. Even you can go back over it, you can touch the sides that you already finished while you are applying. And then once it starts to tack up, you really want to leave it alone and not touch it until it's dry. And any drips or runs, any missed spots, anywhere you need to go back over, you want to make sure that the first coat is dry to the touch before you go ahead and do that. So we sent out a few different applicators with the kits. What you just saw was a small suede applicator, which is good for small areas like the trim above the windows or framing panels like we discussed. However, we found that these microfiber, either round or square microfiber lint-free applicators work very well. And you want to dip the applicator, get it fully submerged, soaked with coating, again, not dripping, but fully soaked, and then glide the applicator across the surface in a very smooth, one line per panel, per level, across the entire panel if possible. Again, you can see just walking straight along the panel, coating one single line, and then going back, doing a slight overlap to get a full coverage of the ProtectaClear. So you saw the video and how to apply the coating, but I want to point out some tips for application. You want to do one panel at a time. So this is framing the panel with the small suede applicator we gave you, and then using the larger applicator to fill in. You want to open the doors to avoid accidental overrun and use long, even horizontal strokes, starting at the top and working your way down. This way you can wipe out any drips and runs as you go. Now, you can see you want to use the flat part of the applicator, not the sewn edge. And we'll show you another example of that here. It gives a much more even application than using the edge of the applicator. It's also helpful to have someone with you while you're applying to point out any drips and runs so you can easily wipe them out as you go. The best tip I can give you is when a panel is finished, walk away. Do not keep messing with the coating, even if you see drips and runs, if you see spots that you missed. Once the coating has tacked up, you do not want to touch it. ProtectaClear will self-level as it dries. It takes time, but you have to trust the process. You can fix anything later with a second coat, but it's important to not try to fix it as it's tacking up and as it is drying. I can't stress this enough, and I know it's very hard, especially for detailers out there, but you just have to walk away or move on to the next coating and then give it time to dry. And we always recommend trying one panel, usually the front fascia, so that you perfect your technique before moving on to the entire truck. So once you do your front panel, you walk away, you see how it finished, then you can move on to the rest of the truck once you're satisfied with your first panel. This will avoid you doing the entire truck with a technique that's not ideal and then having to strip and remove the coating on the entire truck rather than getting it right on one and then moving on. You want to let the coating dry to the touch. Depending on your environment, honestly, this could take anywhere from 20 minutes to an hour. However, usually 40 to 55 minutes. But again, it depends on the temperature and airflow. Do not force dry the coating. It will not allow the coating to self-level. And if you're coating on a surface that's too hot or in an environment that's too hot, it will also have problems self-leveling and you might see lines in the coating. So it's important to really pay attention to those environmental conditions that we suggest and then allow the coating time to dry on its own. When it's dry to the touch, you can recoat, touch up any spots that you missed, touch up any rainbowing, but you don't want to rush the process of drying. Just let it dry before you try to apply a second coat. And then curing, you'll get a full cure in 4 to 5 days. You can drive it after it's dry to the touch, but the coating is delicate until it is cured. So no washing, no standing water, and no covers on it. Now you can force cure the coating after it's dry to the touch by letting the Cybertruck sit in the sun. This will speed up the curing process and make the coating harder, faster, so that you don't have to worry about protection. All right, moving on to troubleshooting some of the issues that you might see as you are preparing and coating the truck. If you see rainbowing of the coating like this, it just means that the coating is too thin. You apply another coat using your blue microfiber and it will level out and it will be crystal clear. So this is very common and it's okay. You just need to apply more coating where you see streaking and it will turn clear. It's important to not press too hard on the applicator. This will help you avoid rainbowing. Rainbowing is common when the coating is too thin, and not pressing hard on the applicator but simply letting it glide will help you get even coverage. If you see sagging or dripping, that means your coating's too thick. So earlier I mentioned it's helpful to have someone with you while you're applying the coating so they can point out any drips and runs so you can fix them as you're applying and as it's happening. And that's the best way to avoid this dripping and run, but we'll also go through ways to fix it. So if you have some drips that have dried and you can see them when the coating's dry, you want to get a cloth and then a microfiber. You want to get it wet with xylene and rub out the drips. You don't have to take the whole panel off, but you can take off just that area and then reapply the coating over that spot once it's dried. And you can, because the self-leveling properties and the self-annealing properties of the coating, it will blend to itself. Now for coating removal. If you have any surfaces that you're not happy with the outcome and you want to redo them or you want to completely remove the coating, this is how you'll completely remove the coating from the surface. You want to start with an applicator that is lint-free. So whether it's a lint-free microfiber, lint-free cloth, or a lint-free paper towels, you're going to completely soak the cloth in solvent. Xylene is the best solvent to remove ProtectaClear. Completely soak it and wipe it gently along the surface to soften the coating that's on the surface. You're going to keep wiping on solvent and then using a clean cloth that does not have solvent on it at first to wipe away the coating. You're going to wipe the surface and lift up and away to remove the coating. It will feel tacky or sticky at the edges and will stick to your applicator, and that's okay. It just means there's still coating there that needs to be removed. So you're going to add more solvent in that area, wipe, and lift away the coating. It's very important to make sure that you're constantly changing out the surface of your microfiber. So fold your microfiber into 8ths so you have 8 clean surfaces, and lift and wipe, and then fold it the other direction. So you're lifting and wiping each time with a clean surface. If you don't, and you use the same surface, the same microfiber for the entire removal, you'll simply be smearing coating that's on that microfiber back into the surface and make it harder to clean. So you want to make sure you're constantly changing out your towels, changing out your surfaces, folding your microfiber in every which way to make sure that you have a clean surface to wipe the coating away with. And you're going to do this until there are no more streaks. Otherwise, if you're going to reapply the coating, there will be streaks left, and that's okay. If you're going to be reapplying the coating, it's just like rainbowing. You go right back over those streaks and the coating will even out to a nice finish. If you're going to be doing a total removal of the ProtectaClear, you're going to keep wiping up and away with xylene and a rag until all the stripes are gone and the coating is fully removed. It's important here to note that you should have your microfiber folded into sections so that you can use clean sections of your microfiber to lift the coating off the surface. So maintaining your Cybertruck finish with ProtectaClear, you want to wait 1 week to clean the truck after coating. This will allow the coating to fully cure before you introduce moisture into the surface. Use mild pH neutral soaps to clean. Dawn and water is sufficient. Do not use soaps or cleaners with solvents, abrasives, or hard bristles. If using a car wash, avoid petroleum distillates, waxes, and other coatings. And to fix chips or scratches, simply wash the truck, dry it, and reapply in the area that got the ding. Overall, we here at Everbright Coatings want to make sure that you are successful with coating your Cybertruck with ProtectaClear. So if you have any issues, any difficulties along the process, please stop what you're doing and call the office. We're happy to help you with any questions you may have.